This is how to be rich. Alright. We're gonna go find it here. Alright, so I believe we're on part 7. Part 7, 2 of 4. Enthusiasm is wealth itself. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. One of the greatest success methods is to be full of radiant energy. Enthusiasm is the dynamics of our personality. It is safe to say that all of us have more latent power than we could ever use if we would only open our minds to the possibility. If you have the knowledge, sound judgment, and good reasoning faculties, you must learn how to put your hearts into thought and action. There are many people who live in all the beauty of this earth, contacting hourly wonders of earth, sky, sun, water, and nature, speaking and hearing nature speak that there is a great, wide, beautiful world with wonderful waters around it and grasses upon its plain. Power, possessions, and the whirlwind consciousness. One true internal success law is enthusiasm. We have to fan anything into raging flame of completion. So from the red-hot coals of our own ambition, enthusiasm, and aspiration, power, possession, attraction, name, fame, honor, and success are all the product of this whirlwind consciousness. It is our own life stream that rushes us on the past valleys, hills, and mountains to deliver our possessions to those who must generate enthusiasm. Yeah, perfect timing. Alright, hold on. Alright, we are here. Those must generate enthusiasm to win their own desires. It takes a stout heart to always keep enthused in prolonged adverse opposition. But it must be done if we aim high to conquer. There are hours in all business endeavors in which all friendships, all associations, all loves, when we must pass along aided alone by our soul's white light. When there is nothing in us to hold but one power, it is enthusiasm, which says, hold on. To meet hard places on the path is a part of the great plan. We belong to those who go down to the sea in the ships and who do business in the great waters. And only those who can bid their own lives glow with enthusiastic radiance will keep light enough to steer past the rocks in the channel. It is possible for all of us to have a flaming sword of enthusiasm within us equal to our own development, and no matter how little it may be, it is still there, and it like attracts like, for every grain of mustard seed will move mountains. Use enthusiasm instead of alarm clock. People who let their enthusiasm awaken them in the morning instead of an alarm clock would never fail in business. They let their enthusiasm carry them. Friends who meet their friends with interest, joy, and aliveness will count their friends by the score. And the lovers who give a smile for a smile, truth for a truth, heart for a faithful heart, will never die alone. When we study the lives of great men and women, whether they are in the fields of government, business, science, or the arts, the one common ingredient of all of them possesses is enthusiasm about their work and their lives. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm enabled Beethoven to compose his great symphonies despite his deafness. Enthusiasm enabled Columbus to persuade Queen Isabella to finance his voyage of the discovery and to keep going when it seemed impossible to succeed. Enthusiasm is the secret ingredient of success for the most successful people, as well as the generator of happiness in the lives of those who possess it. With the fire of great enthusiasm within us, we are burning, and we become then a torchbearer and a lamp to the feet of the slumbering multitude. We are a success then, because we have set the law of our life. And believing in the law, we come under the protection of the law. The more serenity we have, the more success. Calmness of mind is one of the most beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is a result of long and patient effort and self-control. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. We become calm in the measure that we understand ourselves as thought evolved beings, for such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought. As we develop right understanding and see more and more clearly in the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, we shall then remain poised, steadfast, and serene. Influence and power are born in the calm. Calm people, having learned how to govern themselves, know how to adapt themselves to others, and they in turn gain their spiritual strength and feel that they in turn gain their spiritual strength and feel that they can learn from them and rely upon them. The more tranquil we become, the greater is our success, our influence, and our power for good. Even ordinary people will find business prosperity increase as they develop a greater self-control and equable for people who always prefer to deal with people whose demeanor is strong. Strong, calm people are always loved and revered. They are like a shade-giving tree in the thirsty land or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered, balanced life? It does not matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to these possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. That exquisite pose of character, which we call serenity, is the latest lesson of our culture. It is the flower of life, the fruit of the soul. It is as precious as wisdom. It is more desired than gold, even more than fine gold. How insignificant mere money-seeking looks in comparison with a serene life, a life that dwells in the ocean of truth beneath the waves beyond the reach of the deep eternal calm. How few people we met in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise. That's a good word, exquisite poise that is characteristic of the finished character. We're just gonna keep moving along here. Hope you're following me along. Your calm, prosperous thoughts will drive your actions. Only those whose thoughts are controlled and purified make the winds and the storms of the soul obeying them. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever you are, wherever you may be, under whatsoever conditions you may live, know this: in the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits you. Awaits your coming, awaits you, and awaits your coming, and awaits you. You can awaken it. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Replace adverse thoughts with thoughts of good deeds. Think thoughts of achievement. Think thoughts of good health, of prosperity, of happiness. Your thoughts will drive your actions. To paraphrase the word of the book, as you think, so shall you be. The power of meditation. Spiritual meditation is the pathway of divinity. It is a mystic ladder that reaches from earth to heaven, from error to truth, from pain to peace. Every saint has climbed it, all others must come to it. Be those who set their faces toward the inner home, placing their feet upon its golden rounds. You will then grow into the divine state, the divine likeness, the divine peace, and the fadeless glories of non-polluting joys of the truth are your life as you live. Meditation is an intense dwelling in thought upon an idea or theme with the object of thoroughly comprehending it. And whatsoever you constantly meditate upon, you will not only come to comprehend and understand, but it will grow more and more into your likeness, for it will become incorporated into your very being and will become in fact your very self. It therefore is you constantly dwelling upon that which is pure and unselfish. You will surely become pure and unselfish. What you think is where you're going. Tell me that is upon which you most frequently and intensely think, to that which in your silent hours your soul most naturally turns, and it will tell you to what place you are traveling. Let it be peace, growing into the likeness of the divine. There is an unavoidable tendency to become literally the embodiment of the quality upon which one most constantly thinks. Let therefore the object of your meditation be above, so that way everything and every time your thought will be lifted up. Let it be a pure element, so shall your heart become purified and draw near to truth. Meditation in spiritual sense, in which I am now using it, is the secret of all growth in spiritual life and knowledge. Every prophet, sage, and savior became such by the power of meditation. Buddha meditated upon the truth until he could say, I am truth. Jesus brooded upon the divine until at last he could declare, I am the Father, I am one. Pray for one thing, think for one thing. Meditation centered upon divine realities is the very essence and soul of prayer. It is the silent reaching of the soul toward the eternal. You have to now commence to think and act in the spirit of truth. You will day by day be growing into those realities so that ultimately you'll become one with them. If you would secure any worldly advantage, you must be willing to work vigorously for it. You must have effort. Only when you commence to work earnestly in the kingdom of truth will you be allowed to partake of the bread of life. And when you have, by patient, uncomplaining effort, earned the spiritual wages for which you ask, they will not be withheld from you. About meditation. If you really seek the truth, if you love it above all worldly pleasures and gains more even than happiness itself, you will be willing to make the effort necessarily for its achievement. You will be freed, you will realize wisdom and knowledge, and you will enter into the possession of profound and abiding peace. Come now, enter the path of meditation, and let the supreme object of your meditation be truth. It is a process of searching and uncompromising thought that allows nothing to remain but the simple truth. Meditating is the way and will make you realize you are seeking truth, and you will have to wait patiently for the revelation of truth that will now come to you. Select some portion of the day in which to meditate, and keep that period secure to your purpose. The best time is the very early morning when the spirit is of repose upon everything. All your conditions will then be in your favor, and your mind, strong yet restful, will be receptive to the spiritual instruction. An awakened consciousness alive to possibilities. To be spiritually awakened is also to be mentally and physically awakened. Be who are possessed of health and strength is the precious hours of the silent morning, and peace and joy, lightness and harmony. Climbing the heavenly heights, those who are awakening consciousness has become alive to its lofty possibilities, who are beginning to shake off darkness, striving by holy aspiration to perceive the light of truth, while the unawake world dreams on. No saint, no holy one, no teacher of truth ever lived who did not rise early in the morning. Jesus habitually rose early and climbed the solitary mountains to engage in Holy Communion. Buddha always rose an hour before sunrise and engaged in meditation, and all his disciples were enjoined to do the same. It was well to be up before daybreak, to such habits contribute to health, wealth, and wisdom. If you have to commence your daily duties at a very early hour and thus are prevented from giving the early morning systematic meditation, try to give an hour at night. Should your work be that kind that becomes by practice automatic, you may meditate while engaged upon it. An eminent philosopher realized his vast knowledge of the divine things while writing long hours alone. In every life there is a time to think. In every life you are available to aspiration and meditation. Spiritual meditation and self-discipline are inseparable. You will therefore commence to meditate upon yourself so as to try to understand yourself. For remember, the great object you will have in view will be the complete removal of all your errors in order to have and realize truth. You will now understand your motives, thoughts, and acts, matching them with your ideal, and endeavoring to look upon them with a calm and peaceful eye.